First of
Hi,
all,
Rob.
what are you making of the situation at the moment and your reason for being here?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's been difficult. Obviously, with James, I built up a friendship, and we worked very, very closely together over the last year. I'm very sad it's come to this, but it's one of those. As I say, the relationship that we had. As I say, it's been a difficult week. Because when you work with someone for as long as you do and you speak to them as much as you can, and then it automatically changes, it's sad to see. But the good and positive side is, I know James is, he's a fantastic guy. He's absolutely brilliant at what he does. He's brilliant on the grass, and I know obviously with the players, he great relationships with the players as well. And the positive thing for me is he'll bounce back. He's got that, as I say, he's got that quality about him, and he's a fantastic person. And yeah, and hopefully, for him as well, that we can go put a positive display on Saturday and get 3 points.
How would you sum up the job he did? Did it just not work out? Is it one of those things, or will he learn
Yeah,
from it, or
well,
what?
yeah, oh, of course they learn from it. Jay, I think in life, especially when you're a coach or when you're in management or whatever, you'll always reflect upon these. But I must say the job he's done, I think a job he's done, especially when you look at behind the scenes, the stuff that other people don't see, even if it's the training ground and things like that. He's done I think he's done a brilliant job. As I say, everything in football, as we know, especially when you're in the management hot seat, I've been there myself, Rob. It's a difficult place, and it's becoming more difficult, because of the fact that everything is a results basis, and that's what it's down to. And you look at the last few games, you look at the Leyton Orients and that, but you also look at other games where chances that you've maybe, that we've maybe missed, the score lines might have been different and things like that. It could have been a different story, Rob, but effectively everything comes down to results. But it's not getting away from the fact that the environment that James has created, it's been fantastic, especially the work he's done from a coaching aspect as well. I've watched him in the grass, and he's absolutely brilliant. And that's why I'm positive in the mind, knowing that, it will bounce back. I've spoken to him a few times. Even you look at the things he's come out with, the professionalism of him is absolutely fantastic. So I think it'll take a bit of time to reflect, a bit of wind down time. And as I say, I hope to see him back in very soon.
And if somebody rang you and said, should I give James Rowbury a job in management, what would you say?
Oh, Rob, I'd have absolutely no hesitation, in recommending you. I can't speak highly enough of him, to be honest. As I say, this, what's difficult for me, if I'm being honest with you, Rob, is I go from, having a relationship with James to, speaking to him 3, 4, 5 times a day. And we speak, we spoke a lot, and we will continue to speak because we will remain friends. It's difficult, but when you look at somebody that comes into a role in terms of somebody I work closely, and when you see the magnitude of everything that they do and the magnitude of the detail, his was second to none in every way, but unfortunately football just comes down to results, and it's been sad to see the way it's ended, and the players are hurting with that too. But what we would like to do, as I say, is put that right, put the positive display, and hopefully we get that little bit of luck as well against Crawley on Saturday.
So ultimately, it's a board decision to appoint a manager, but on your recommendation, you don't regret that recommendation, clearly.
No, no. As I say, when we went through the process and everything, James was a standout candidate. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Obviously, he's got links to the club as well, but you can see through his thoroughness. And again, I go back to when that process was happening, the appoint, the interviews and all that. James's thoroughness and the detail and everything within the detail was absolutely brilliant. He was a standout candidate.
Mm.
And as with football, it just effectively comes down to results.
So you're taking the team for Crawley. How long do you expect to be in charge?
Well, the board have asked me just to take Crawley and then it'll be sort of viewed from there, and I think that's the important thing that they came in this week. It's been a difficult week. But what I just want to do is, with fantastic staff in the place as well, what I wanted to do is just come in and just get the boys to play with a free. They've been doing it, but it's like everything in football. You need that little bit of luck. And what we have to do, we have to keep up the same effort. We have to keep, fighting for each other. We have to make sure the attention to detail is there. Everything that's effectively been done before. But let's see if we can tweak one or two little things, and let's hope that we can go to Crawley, good and positive, and put on a display for our fans that, can get them behind it, because they're important. They're massively important. I always speak about the 12th man. And our supporters, especially Saturday, are key for me, Rob. We need them on our side Saturday, getting behind the players, getting behind the team, supporting, encouraging, being rapturous in their voice, to help us, because I've no doubt that if we can do that, and we get that little bit of luck on the pitch as well, because I think the effort will be there. These players, when me and James went through the process of recruitment of the players and things like that, you speak about the character. They're great people. They're great players. Maybe they're lacking a little bit of confidence now, but what I've tried to do this week is just change that, just try and change the mindset, try and put a positive spin on it, so much so that we can go into the Crawley game, with good confidence, and really go and express ourselves. But as I say, it's important that our supporters are right there with us to help and encourage the team through it.
So the fact that you've only been asked to take charge of Crawley, should we read into that the desire of the club and your desire is to get somebody in place on a permanent basis by a week Saturday, by the Colchester game?
Yes. Well, as I say, I'm working behind the scenes as well. In regards to that, we've been receiving applications and everything for the role, and it's something that we'll be again working at over the weekend and early next week, and hopefully we can get an appointment in as soon as. But again, it's not going to be a rush appointment or anything like that. There's a lot of detail and thoroughness that goes into these processes, which we've been on with. And yeah, hopefully we can get the right person in soon, Rob.
Because you always, I remember the display you gave, the way it worked with James on players. He'd say, I need a left back. You give him a list of left backs that would be, and it was up to him to choose.
Yeah.
Have you got that list of potential successors to James Rowbury?
Yeah, that's it. As I always spoke about, we've got a fantastic, performance model, as I call it, that we keep adding to, and you've got, I wouldn't say people lined up as such, but you've got a list of, potential managers as such. But what you also have is, which is always income, and even last night still receiving CVs and that. But you have to be on the pulse effectively, and that's what what I've been doing, and the board as well. The board have been absolutely brilliant, but everybody's been proactive in trying to effectively fix the situation as best we can. And yeah, so speaking to a lot of people, potential candidates, and what we'll always do, we'll always act in a very professional manner as a football club, make sure we're doing everything right. And yeah, hopefully, over the next couple of days, we can get somewhere that, will take us to that next step and concluding an appointment.
Brilliant. On Crawley, obviously they're bottom of the table, just as Rochdale were. I mean, no pressure, Darren.
No, that's, for me, Rob, as I say, well, the main focus for me, because they're in a very similar situation, Rob, because they've no manager. There's an interim. Don't know what way things are going to go with them. But I'll be honest, I want to make it about us. Saturday, I just want the players to go out and play with absolute freedom. Desire to succeed, desire to win, and give everything they can to get the 3 points. And that's why, again, I go back to the importance of our supporters, to really hear them in their full voice, getting behind the team, because that will help play the part of the 12th man in order for us to go there, put on a good performance, play with, as I say, expression and freedom, and hopefully go and get the 3 points.
And nitty gritty, any injuries?
A couple of niggles. Obviously with Clarkey's just had a little injection. Will Evans has took a knock. Good news in the fact that Oz and Priestley should be back Tuesday, which, you know, Oz coming back into the fold, obviously being out 10 weeks, will be, you know, be a very welcome boost to the team. And yeah, apart from that, pretty much all good.
Darren, wish you all the best. Thanks.
Rob, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Morning, Darren.
Hiya, Chris. You okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. What are on those knocks? How's Matty? Is Matty Dolan? Is he still out with his ankle?
Yeah, no, Matty's fine now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Matty's trained this week. And you know, I know the injury. You know, there might be a little bit of bone bruising there and that, Chris. You know, but as I say, the main thing is he's trained all this week. And yeah, he's been good. I must say, everybody's trained this week. You know, as I said, it's been a difficult week. But you know, the big thing is, you know, they've come out fighting, and what they want to effectively do is go into Crawley and get over sort of the little blip, if you like, that we're in, and put on a positive display.
How's the day-to-day worked? Has it been Jared leading training, or has it been you on the...
Yeah, well, you know, going back to what I said to Rob there, we have fantastic staff. You know, the people in here are absolutely brilliant. So you've obviously the analysis side, the medical side, you know, obviously, and then the coaching side. So you have Jim, Jared, myself, and you know, yeah, training's been it's been very good. You know, it's managed by us all. You know, there's times I'll step in and do bits and pieces. And then Jared, which gives me the opportunity to step back and assess effectively, you know, with, you know, that mind to pick a team for Saturday.
Did you ever think you'd be back on a touchline?
Especially in these circumstances, Chris, it's yeah, I didn't want to effectively, you know, because of especially the circumstances and the relationship I had with James. But as I said, a chat with the board in regards to Saturday, and obviously everything that we're doing around that as well. So yeah, I'm happy to come in and do it for Saturday, and then we'll sort of review it from there. I'm about people, you know, as with James was, but I'm about getting in and around them and getting the heads up, because we have to, you know, there's the old saying in football and life in general, life goes on, and we have to do that, and we have to go to Crawley, you know, with freedom expression. So I'm speaking to the players individually, getting in and around them, making sure they're in high spirits, or trying to get them in high spirits, and ensuring that we go on and put a positive display on Saturday.
And you do have a core of very good senior pros there who've been around the club as well. So leaning on them, I'd imagine you've lent on them, the likes of Matty,
Absolutely.
Nicky, Scott.
Yeah. They've been brilliant. Every player's been absolutely brilliant, Chris. Their attitude, their application, yeah, they're going to hurt, but you can channel, you know, they're going to hurt because, you know, again, they were close with James, they had a good relationship with James. And what they will have to do now is channel that in a positive way, channel that into the team, you know, in regards to what we want to get out of Saturday, and that's a 3 points. So, you know, effectively what we're looking to do is put the bodies in the line, do everything that they can on Saturday to ensure that we get the 3 points. And to be honest, I have to believe, especially the way they've responded this week, Chris, you know, even, you know, stepping back, and the other coach, as we do, we chat every day, and we've been very pleased with how they've responded. You know, their attitude, and as I say, their application's been second to none, and it's important, you know, they take that into Saturday, because I've always had the mindset and the way that, you know, you train how you play. So if they play the way they've trained this week, you know, I'm very confident getting into Saturday.
How long have your days been this week then?
Oh, that's very long. Very, very long, Chris. But you know what? I've got a work ethic, and James was the same. You know, it's literally you wake up, if, you know, you wake up in the morning, then you go home, you know, you go home. But even then, when you go home, you know, they're long days, because there's a lot going on. There's obviously this side of it, and, you know, in regards to the footballing aspects and the training and all that side of it. And then there's obviously that, you know, trying to get the next manager side of it, you know. So it is relentless, but that's what I'm about anyway, Chris, because I want to see the club being successful, and I'll do everything morning, noon, and night to make sure that happens. And it's no different now. As I say, the only difference is I'm I'm in the managerial seat for the game Saturday. So I'll continue to do and work as hard as I can and as hard as I can give, and to ensure that, you know, we come out of this in a better place.
Do you feel under pressure for your job, given everything that's happened?
No, I don't. I don't look at it that. I don't look at it like that. And yeah, there can be, it can be looked at, and rightly so, because especially the fact that, you know, I work closely with James, but there's a lot. You know, there's a lot more to the role. You know, and you know that's something the board, if the board felt that need to have that conversation, you know, that's football. Football's that way, Chris, and you have to accept that. You know, I go from effectively day to day, but the only thing I can continue to do is give my absolute all every day. You know, there's more, obviously, there's the first team side of it, there's the academy, the development team, the medical sports science, all that. So there's a wider remit to my role. But yeah, it's one of those, obviously, when James, you know, when the situation happened with James, you know, a part of me, you know, also thinks, you know, about myself, naturally so. But as I say, the work I do, you know, the work I do and the expansiveness of the role is different. But, you know, the board have a great relationship with the board, and, you know, nothing's been said to me on that regard, because I think they see the work ethic I have and the work I do, and, you know, and trying to make everything, and especially the football club, a better place.
You're always under scrutiny.
No, that's yeah. Especially with these roles, Chris. You know, the sporting director roles. You know, they're not. You know, they're yeah. You come in line with the first team, and obviously you'll link very closely with the manager. But, you know, as I say, there's all the academy side of the development. There's a lot of stuff going on aside from that as well, which I'm focused on effectively the wider ranges of my role, and ensuring that, you know, from the academy, can we bring players through into the development team, from the development team to the first team, basically making it a good, clear pathway, and making sure the structure of the football club is good and right. And I think I'm good at doing that. I think my work ethic is there to see as well. But it's like everything in these type, which I understand, Chris, is the fact that when there's a managerial change like this, that my role will be sort of viewed within that. But nothing's been said to me, to be honest, on it. And as I say, I just give my all every day, and until told otherwise.
Obviously, we know you can't go into specifics of names, but any new candidate would be coming into the same model, wouldn't they? That they'd be coming, but that's not going to.
Yeah, that's it. You know, we have a structure within the club that we've worked very, very hard to put in place. And that will continue. You know, what we want to do is effectively work hard to make sure that we get the right fit, into the club. You know, management, there's a lot of people out there, you know, looking for work, and what we want to do is effectively, and what I do is, you know, it's everybody that comes in and speak to, and then, you know, it's sort of broken down, and then it goes that next step, you know, to effective interviews, and then, you know, it's taken there where it's a board decision on who the club appoint.
You mentioned hopefully by Colchester, but got the Southampton game as well, the EFL trophy, I guess. So someone will have to be in charge for that on Tuesday, won't they? Which is
no, well, that's it. You know, the thing, we're not going to be rushed into it, Chris. Yeah. You know, we've got to make sure it's the right. You know, and if it's before Tuesday, then great. You know, but it'll be a case that we ensure that it's the right appointment. I think that's important, to make sure that, you know, the person comes in, understands everything that's there, and buys into what we're doing. And it's a case then that. That right person is in as and when, and it could be before Tuesday, it could be after Tuesday.
Good stuff. Well, hope it goes well in Crawley. I won't be there, I'm afraid. I've got COVID, so I'll be in my COVID den. So all the best for it.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Morning, Darren.
How you look? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. What's it feeling like to be a manager once again?
A bit strange, especially under the circumstances. Look, but you know, I don't really have time to sort of sit and think about myself, because it's not about me. You know, for me, it's about making sure that the players are right physically, mentally, in order to undertake a task on Saturday. Yeah, it's quite strange, and they meet it as we speak about it, because especially under the circumstances. But for me, it's just about getting on and getting the job done, and effectively getting into tackle Saturday and get 3 points.
You mentioned the players there. How have they been this week?
Brilliant. They've been absolutely brilliant. The senior players have led by example, as you would expect them to. I've spoken to everyone. I think it's very important, that we do that and ensure everybody's okay. And as I say, they've responded, and a lot of that you can tell, because you can have people that can effectively speak to you and tell you one thing, but they're feeling differently. But I must say, and a lot of that shows in the training pitch. You see the way they want to put things right because of their attitude, their application, their bite in training, which has been very good. The coaching staff have been absolutely brilliant with that as well. We've all basically come together to just try and make it a really good, enjoyable week, but hard week, because it's important. It's important that we go to Crawley and Saturday with the right attitude and the right mindset, to really, because it'll be tough. It's especially when you go to a club and they're in quite actually similar circumstances, so you don't really know what to expect. But it's a case, as I say, this week we've focused on us, making it about us and what we do, and and then we go to Crawley with hopefully the God shining, the fact that everything will go our way. That little bit of luck, it's maybe not gone our way, little bit of tweaks here and there. And as I said before, it's making sure the supporters are there to fully support us and back the players, and making sure that they can give them a voice on the pitch, which will be great. Hopefully Saturday.
You mentioned about Afrani Zanzala being back in training. How pleased are you to have him back?
He's been great. He's come in, as I say, he's trained this week, and he can't wait to get back involved. To be honest, he actually wanted to be involved Saturday, but like this, you can't rush it. You're guided by medical people who Ryan and has been great. So you're being guided by them. They're the professionals in their job to sort of make and guide these decisions. Yeah, it'd be tempting to put him back, sort of on the bench or something even Saturday, but we just have to be cautious, because what we don't want to do is go backwards again with him. So start him too early, or bring him into the fold and bring him on, and then something goes again. It's important that we stick to the sort of the timelines on that, and then effectively get him back in the squad for Tuesday, and hopefully we can get him good minutes. All being well, he trains again today, and Monday as well.
Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Luke.